guys, what's going on? This is the Conservative speaking, and I wanted to talk about Robert Meek Williams. A lot of you recognize him as Meek Mill, and he accused a flight member of racism while boarding a private jet because the flight member questioned him about smoking on the plane. Now, for those of you who are not really familiar with Meek Mill, this is a Philadelphia rapper who was sentenced to 2 to 4 years in a high-profile case for violating his probation, stemming from drugs and even illegally riding a dirt bike. So this is a guy that's not a stranger to the law. He has an extensive rap sheet, and a lot of it, I believe, is stemmed from the absence of a father really in his life. But going back to him accusing the flight member, or him accusing the crew member of racism due to the crew member suspecting him of smelling like smoke. I watched the video, and crew member just simply asked, you know, were you smoking on the plane, because he could sense the smell of smoke coming from Robert Williams. And then Robert Williams goes on this whole tirade, obviously trying to play the victim, because we know one thing that we do know that the blacks do, is especially the blacks in the inner city, is they love to play the victim. I'm just going to let you guys know that black people are not victims, they are victimizers. They turn something that they know they were responsible for and try to turn it against the other person, accusing them of the very thing that the blacks knew they caused. And obviously, Robert Williams was asking the question, well, look around. We just boarded the plane 20 minutes ago. You don't see anyone rolling up. You don't see a blunt. You don't see anybody rolling up any weed. So why would you suspect that we would smoke on the plane? So obviously, this is Robert Williams trying to play dumb, knowing the fact that him and his entourage probably smoked the marijuana prior to boarding the plane, and the marijuana that he smoked was so strong that it actually alerted the crew member who smelled the smoke coming in his area to come in and simply warrant an investigation. And rightfully so, because obviously you cannot smoke on a plane regardless of whether you board a commercial or a private jet. And so Meek Mill, playing the victim, stated that, hey, you're acting really racist now. Let me off the plane because I'm afraid. Oh yes, of course Meek Mill, very, very, very afraid. This is the same person who came out with the album Expensive Pain, in which I would love to show you the images of the album cover, but the album cover is so explicit that in order for me to show the image, this video will have to be adult restricted. So that's something that I will not be able to do. However, I will leave the link so that you can be able to see the image and vote, and you can be the judge of what you're seeing. I will give you a brief insight on the image. I mean, the image is something that you would see if you were selling pornography. Honestly, it's the type of image that you would see if you were trying to sell pornography. It portrayed women in a sexually provocative nature. There was even an image of a woman bent over in a sexual position, as if sexual intercourse could be um, could have been made in that specific position. I mean, he now granted, the image was animated, but it was, I mean, it was so clear. I mean, the image itself was explicit to where you knew exactly what type of image he was trying to portray. And obviously, if you know that 2 + 2 = 4, even if it's not a real picture, in an animated picture, you can clearly see that these women were portrayed in a sexual nature. There was one woman that was painted in which she was naked and she was posing on a stripper pole. And then the other woman was portrayed naked, showing her behind. And keep in mind, this explicit image was also reportedly portrayed on SEPTA buses. Yes, this same image was portrayed on SEPTA buses. I believe there was a video where a white guy in Philadelphia was complaining about that type of image being portrayed on a SEPTA bus, on SEPTA buses, a bus that's open to the public, meaning that everybody would be able to see that, including children who use public transportation. So the simple fact that would be used, or that would be portrayed, it shows you the direction that black people are willing to go. That the blacks would rather celebrate immorality as opposed to celebrating morality. That evil is better understood and accepted than good. And so that's the type of thing that he was portraying. And I believe he came out with an album called Expensive Pain in October 1st. And there was a song out there that's called Hate on Me, where he was obviously rapping about guns and shooting people and paying for people to either harm you or kill you. And he was even talking about a thought. I believe the thought is the definition for that hoe over there. So he was glorifying these type of things. And I bring up that point because when Meek Mill claimed that he was afraid and he needed to leave the private jet because he was afraid of the white man calling him a racist, he didn't seem too afraid to want to glorify violence on other people. He didn't seem too afraid in his records, but yet he was afraid of racism from the white man. Obviously, Meek Mill is one of those people who is a weak, pathetic beta male, and it's true because truth be told, this is a man that clearly has an issue with white people. Obviously, Meek Mill won't come out and admit it. But the truth of the matter is, Robert Rameek Williams believes that white people are superior to him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had that notion. Because if he knows what he did, and yet he wants to spin it around and call the crew member who happens to be white racist for it, what that shows is clearly that A, he's willing to play the race card, B, he's not willing to take accountability for his own actions, and C, he has a deep-rooted hatred for white people. I wonder if Robert Williams would have had the same energy had that crew member been black. Right? I wouldn't be surprised. But one of the reasons why I bring up the whole race thing is because I have a message to portray to Robert Williams, and the message is simple. I don't know if Robert Williams was aware of this, but on September 26, 2021, the race card and the victim card was officially nullified and void by yours truly, the conservative. So that day, I freed the blacks from ever using the race card and the victim card anymore, because I was just sick of the blacks using that as an excuse to not take accountability for their own actions. And so on September 26, 2021, I officially freed the blacks from that mental slavery of being victimizers by annulling the race card and the victim card. I actually took the race card and the victim card and I destroyed it like a credit card when it was successfully shredded by my shredder. And because of that, now the blacks can no longer use that as an excuse as to why certain things are not going their way. So I'm saying this to tell Mr. Williams that you can no longer fall back now on the race card and the victim card. You're either going to have to come up with another excuse, or you're going to actually have to do what men do, and that is to hold yourself accountable for your own actions. Because in the end, any issues that you're going through, 9 out of 10 times, you caused it. And if you're the root cause of it, then you should be the root solution of it as well. And so, so to close, I just want to leave a message to Mr. Williams that in the end, anything that happens to you, right, before you look to blame everybody else, right, look yourself in the mirror and have a hard, deep, hard look at yourself and ask yourself, was I the cause of any of this? All right. And if you can honestly answer that question, and if you believe that you are, then fix it. And if not, then you go through the proper causes. But again, you know, I don't know how old Meek Mill is. I don't know how old he is. I mean, I'm going to assume, I mean, he's been around for a while. I'm going to assume that he's in his mid-30s. He wasn't born under a rock. He knows better. And hopefully he'll be able to take the right directions and be able to do the right thing. Hopefully he'll be able to have enough integrity to know that to not blame everybody else for your problems. But it's only he can do that. Only he, because he'll have to be able to look at himself and be able to honestly assess himself or do an honest evaluation as of whether or not he was the root cause of any issues that he's going through. But that's my piece for today. Let me know what you guys think of the whole matter. Leave a comment in the comment section after you subscribe to my channel. Click the like button so that YouTube, so that this will be able to affect the algorithm and that this video can be promoted more. Share this video and subscribe to my channel so that I can be able to provide more content to you and you'll be able to get it first on the double. And with that being said, this is The Conservative signing out. You guys see my shirt? Stop having sex out of wedlock, all right? Black people, take that into consideration, especially black women. 77% of black babies are born out of wedlock, okay? If you had more of this, then you will have less of that. Take that into consideration for today. And with that being said, have a blessed day.